morning everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully you enjoyed the football last night. I know I definitely did. So this morning, just wanted to give my own personal fan reaction to the games last night basically. I was going to do a reaction last night, but unfortunately just didn't manage to get the time for it. But yeah, so we'll get straight into it. Obviously I've got to start with Arsenal. So obviously I gave my predictions yesterday, and I thought we would struggle a lot more than we did with my prediction. This was the one I was really wrong on. I said we would most likely be a bit stale. I even said it'd be the game not to watch, because I thought we would just go there and try just get out there with a draw or maybe nick a result, you know. I didn't expect us to go and assert our dominance over PSV, just from the way we played lately in recent games. So yeah, it was surprising, but it was our best performance of the season, I think, by quite some way, especially when you consider it's without our main players like Saka and Martinelli and Havertz, you know. So it was very impressive, I thought, from us, and it was a bit of a statement. I think to not let up after 3 or 4 was definitely Arteta saying, look, go for it here, make a statement here, and then we can, also the important thing is we can rest players next week now. I think Arteta has to look at this now and go, look, we're 7-1 up in a tie, try some different things, you know, rest players like Wanyeri, because he's going to play a lot of football in these next few months at a very young age, and a lot of the time that results in an injury for a young player. So Arteta's got to be very careful. I think next week he should just take the Wanyeri out of the team, take Odegaard out, take Rice out, you know, take Saliba, take Gabriel out, take them all out. You're not going to lose 6-0 at home, 7-0 at home, you know. So, you know, give Tierney a game, give Zinchenko a game, you know, play Zinchenko in midfield next week, like, see what happens. Try some different stuff, you know, play Sterling in the false 9. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. Stick Calafiori up top if you really want to. Like, clearly he's got a finish on him. So yeah, it was a sort of performance I look at and I go, you can base a whole season off of that performance, in terms of you can build off of that. You know, you can literally build off of that sort of performance in the league. I think the league title's gone for us, but we can definitely use on the Champions League still. You know, it's not dead and buried. The reason why it's not dead and buried in the Champions League is because you're only a few games from winning it. If you really, when you think about it like that, you're like, you need to win. What is it now? Then you've got quarterfinals. Quarterfinals, semi-finals, final. So you really need to win 5 games really, because the next game doesn't really count. Because if we lose that game, it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah, so we need to win 5 games. Obviously it's against a high quality opposition, that's why it makes it so hard, but it's definitely the most attainable trophy we have this season now. So we have to put all our eggs in that basket. And I think you just get by in the league now, you know, secure that 2nd spot, get the money from the Premier League for that 2nd spot, but push for that Champions League now. I think don't rush Saka back. Just make sure you get him fit for the Champions League games. I think he shouldn't be out for too much longer, hopefully, is my thinking. So hopefully we can have Saka back soon. Yeah, hopefully we can get Saka back soon, and then he'll be fit for the quarterfinals at least. Well, I've said before previously in my original video about Arsenal, Ethan Nwaneri, he's a talent. He's a massive talent. I don't know if you guys didn't watch the game, then it's not even in the highlights some of the stuff he does, but like the way he just carries the ball. There was a moment in that game where he carried the ball from the right side of the pitch, cut across the whole defence onto the left hand side of the box and took a shot. The shot wasn't that great, obviously, otherwise it would have been the highlights, but the actual run itself, I hate making this comparison, but it did have shades of like a Messi sort of run. Now I'm not comparing him to Messi in any sort of way there, but in terms of the technical ability and that dribbling at that age, you could see it, you know, the drops to the shoulders, the close control, even the left foot, like it looked, if you'd have told me it was a young Messi dribbling there, I wouldn't have told you it was wrong, you know what I mean? So I think we need to wrap him in cotton wool for these next few weeks as well, because we need him, like we really, really need him fit and firing. If he gets an injury or anything, then we really do have nothing going forwards then, you know? So he's going to be a massive player these next few weeks. Even at 17 years old, Arteta needs to really manage his game time. So I was happy to see him come off on 17 minutes yesterday. I think he probably should have brought him off on about 50, 60 when we were already 5-1 up. You know, I was looking at my TV going, just get him off. Why? You don't need him on it. Just get him off. Get hit. I thought he should have taken a. I guess he left Odegaard on because Odegaard got a second goal. He got an assist. You know, Odegaard's trying to build his confidence back up, so that made sense why you kept him on. Rice, he had to get some rest in there. Yeah, I think it's important now that he manages this squad for the rest of the season very well if he wants to make a push for the Champions League, because it's going to be a very big challenge whoever we face next in the Champions League. You know, I watched we'll go on to the Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid game now, and the goals in that game were outrageous. You know, every goal was top quality. It wasn't like any of them were gifts. They were top quality. Like, I can't say the same thing for all our Arsenal goals. You know, PSV were off it. They were just off it. Their defence was crumbling around them, and they just didn't feel like a Champions League team when we were playing them. We were watching the first 20 minutes, and I could tell from the first 20 minutes I was like, we're going to batter them here. I know they hit the crossbar, and then it could have been very different if that goes in. But even the first 10 minutes, you won't see it in the highlight reels, but we were battering them. Like, they couldn't get out of their own box, basically. And I was watching going, this is going to end up being 3 or 4. And I realised within about 10 minutes of the game, I was like, my prediction's very wrong for this game and this tie right now. But I was happy to be wrong in that game. I'm not gonna lie to you. The only blip on that game was Miles Lewis-Skelly, I think. So the highlight of the whole game for me was actually our second goal, which was Lewis-Skelly assisting the Ranieri, obviously the two Arsenal youngsters. I thought that just summed everything up for me in that goal. You know, I loved that goal, that moment. But then obviously you get Lewis-Skelly on the yellow card early, and he could arguably get sent off for a second challenge, which is normally a bookable offence. I think I was quite surprised that he didn't get sent off, to be honest, because I just assumed maybe the European ref would be a bit more strict, you know. But he stayed on, and Arteta was very sensible, taking him off early on the 35th minute. You think he had to do it, you know. It's not worth risking, even if we're 3-0 up at that point in the game. Just don't risk it in Champions League. You never know what can happen if you've got 10 men on the pitch. So Lewis-Skelly looked really good going forwards, but he's just showing in the recent weeks he's got a little bit to learn on the defensive aspects of the game. You know, his positioning, his awareness of when to make the fouls, when not to. Like, he didn't need to make the second challenge. You know, he went flying in. He just didn't need to make it. He should have just held back. The guy was going nowhere. He was running out of play, so he should have just held back. Or he should have acted like he was going to go in for it and then just step back and don't go for it. And he would have just knocked the ball out of play and it'd be fine. And then the original booking itself, when I looked at it, I thought, oh, he could get sent here, because there's an argument to say it was a denying a goal opportunity. I know there were players around, so he got fortunate in that sense, but he does need to watch that, because it's not the first time it's happened now. You know, obviously with the West Ham game. So I think Arteta's going to have to coach him a bit, or get a defensive coach to help him out with his position and awareness. You know, because if you keep getting quiet like that, you will get punished. So that's the only blip. Obviously he's young. I don't really want to go in on him too much, because he has been outstanding for us this season. You know, he's been my favourite player this season. I've been waiting for him to come into this team for 18 months. You know, I was calling for him to come in last season with Nwaneri. It never happened. But when they were coming through, I was looking at Cozy, Dewberry, Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri as like, yes, get these guys in. Obviously Cozy Dewberry never got his chance with it. Arsenal ends up at Brighton, goes out low for Brighton. But I think if we can keep those youngsters hungry and keep them fit is the most important. Obviously us Arsenal fans are quite scarred with young players. Obviously Aaron Ramsey snapped his leg when he was young. Jack Wilshere had glass ankles. So and then we've only really had Saka as our one of our own come through and progress and stay with us in recent years. Obviously we've seen Smith Rowe go out, we've seen Eddie Nketiah go out. So we need to get behind these lads, don't get on Lewis Skelly's back, and hopefully he'll learn with experience about where he should be positioned, or when to make challenges, when to step back. But anyway, that's enough on Arsenal. Back to the Real Madrid Atletico game. Yeah. So the goals I was talking about, the goals in that game, they were all out. They were all just insane. I was watching the game just going, this is what world-class players do. Like that's what it was. They were just world-class. Like I looked at Rodrigo's goal. He's a world-class player, but he's still so underrated. Obviously he plays on the right wing. He's whipped one in with his left foot last night, and I look at it going, if he's doing that on the right wing, if he was playing for like a Man City or a Liverpool or even an Arsenal on the left wing, he would be killing it on that left wing, you know. So yeah, he was terrorising on that right side. Mbappe was a bit quiet last night. I thought he should have done better with Madrid's chance right at the end, where he should have squared it for Vinny. He should have done better with that, and that would have given them a lot more commanding position. But like I said, I got that prediction bang on. 2-1 I said. And arguably Madrid probably should have got more, maybe 3-1 would have been more of a representation of the game. But you know, Atletico defended well at times, and they got their goal, which it gave me shades of Harry Kane in the London derby, if you guys remember that goal, when he comes through, when he wins the ball from the corner of the box, just whips it from the corner of the edge of the box, and it just wraps in off the post for Union Alvarez last night, and it was so clean. I think it was the goal of the night for me. That was top quality. I looked at him going, City have missed him. City have really missed him. Obviously when I went to go watch Atleti, he got 2 goals for them that night, I think, and he was just a little rat, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing here, you know. He just worked his socks off to harass the defenders, and he showed some moments of quality. And he did the same thing last night. You know, that goal, it could be vital to Atletico, because I look at them when they go back to their place, they're going to be hard to beat. Madrid don't have the best record lately against Atletico, so it could definitely make for an interesting second leg. And I'm looking at it going, I know Madrid have got the superstars and they're winning the tie, but I wouldn't put it past Atletico to get through here. I think they've got the players to do it. What they've got to do is keep it tight and maybe nick a goal. You never know. If you can get an early goal in the tie, you never know. But yeah, all the goals were just outstanding last night. If if you haven't watched them, go watch them, because then you got Brahim Diaz as well with twinkle toes in the box, and again it was just, it dips in between two players and whips it in the bottom corner. Like, it was a world class finish from a player who I don't normally consider as world class. So it was a special goal, that. So if you haven't watched them goals, just go watch them. That's all I can say. There might not be as many as in the Arsenal game, but the quality of them is top. So next we got Villa. Now, I was very close to my prediction in this game. I said 1-1, and for a long time it looked like it was going to be 1-1. Both sides missed a lot of chances. You know, I think Villa were unlucky to potentially go even level at that time. I think if you've seen the goal for the Club Brugge do score to equalise, Villa Watkins tried to play on a 1-2 on the halfway line, and if Rodgers executes that pass like he should, it's Watkins 1-on-1 with the keeper. So yeah, and then after that, Club Brugge kind of came into the game, which can happen in Europe. Obviously, the momentum with the home advantage in those games is massive. So obviously they let them back into the game, and then Club Brugge all of a sudden start getting chances, and the game opens up a bit. And then in the last 10 minutes, Villa just punished them. You know, Brugge missed a couple of big chances, big header in like the 70th minute around then. They didn't take it, and then they just punished them. They got a bit lucky with the second goal, with the own goal. So it's a good ball in for Morgan Rodgers, but defender should probably be positioned a bit better. You know, he should probably be a bit more square onto it so he can deal with the ball better. He's stretching, and once you're stretching as a defender in that position, you've not got a chance. You have no idea where that ball's going, you know. And then the third is just very silly play from the defender. You know, I know what he's tried to do. He's tried to kill the ball dead in his own box. It hasn't worked. And then he hasn't even seen the player coming. He's zoomed past him. He's taken him down. So I think Villa are as good as through in that tie. I think that tie is dead. I think the Arsenal tie is dead. Madrid are definitely still alive in their tie. Atletico. And then the last game I'll do a quick little bit on. I don't know if anyone would have watched it who's watching this channel, but Dortmund-Lille. Obviously, I thought there'd be a few more goals in the game. I thought Dortmund might actually win the home leg, so I think you could potentially look at Lille as the favourites now when this tie, you know, going back to the home patch. And they are surprising people this season, you know, they surprised me as well. I know they had some good players, you know, Angel Gomez and Jonathan David. I think Andre plays for them as well. Like, there's a few good players there, but they're definitely exceeding expectations, and they've never won. Fact that I found out, they've never won a UEFA Champions League knockout tie. So then you come into the second leg and you're like, are they really the favourites? You know, it would be their first time winning a European knockout tie, or Champions League one. I can't confirm it's Champions League or European, I can't remember. But if it's Champions League, then it'll be their first ever knockout win. They'll be in the quarterfinals, but they've got to do it at some point. So I think you look at that tie, and Dortmund aren't at full strength. So I look at that tie and I go, surely they're favourites now, you know? Which, if they can get through to the quarterfinals, is massive. They could go further than PSG, who are top of their league, if they go out to Liverpool, of course. So yeah, I would put Lille as the favourites now. I think Dortmund, they didn't show too much last night. Adeyemi scored a great goal, but there's just that, I don't know, they've lost that potency. I think Dortmund, they just don't hit the same this season from when I've seen them play. You know, but they come alive in the Champions League, so you never know. They could always turn it on out of nowhere and get a result, because all they have to do is win. Like, that's all they have to do in the next leg, is just win. So it's definitely within their wheelhouse to be able to do that, but we will see. I will do a preview for tonight's games as well. Actually no, I've already done them. So Sorry guys, one sec. Yeah, so I'll have a little preview of tonight's games. It will just be a very short video because obviously I've looked at them already, but we'll have a look, we'll give our predictions again. Hope you guys are enjoying the content I'm trying to put out so far. I'm trying to get it out in a timely manner. I know the predictions came out very late last night, so I'm going to try and get on with that a bit better, and hopefully I can start doing other sort of content as well. So I'm hoping, like I said, I wanted to do a fan reaction last night, which wasn't just me driving, so I'm going to try and see if I can manage to squeeze that in somewhere. Home life's a bit hard to get it in, but I will try my best. Right, thank you guys, have a good day, bye.